Good morning, everyone, and welcome to your Miracle Mindset Monday for this week. So, remember, with our Miracle Mindset Monday, this is a generalized reading for the week. There are no personalized readings. If you are interested in your own personalized Miracle Mindset Monday, you can always go visit my website, awakeningmiracles.org. So, with our Miracle Mindset Monday this week, we're going to be using the Enchanted Map deck. We're also going to be using the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms deck. And we're going to be using the Oracle of the Angels deck. Now, our first two decks are both Colette Baron reads, which I absolutely love. So the first one, the Enchanted Map, is going to kind of give us this overall view of the week. Then the Hidden Realms is going to help us to see what may be the blocks or the shadows that are there that are stopping us from embodying those frequencies. And then we will move to the Oracle of the Angels, which will give us a beautiful affirmation or affirmations that we can use. So let's go ahead and let's get started with this week's reading. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being here. And let's get started. So first we're going to go to the Enchanted Map. Okay, so let's see what beautiful messages we have for this week. We need actually one more card. Good morning, Stephanie. Good morning, Jen. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being here. Okay, beautiful. All right, so we have some really beautiful cards this week. So our very first one is number 53, and this is the Listen card. And what this is really asking us to do this week is to, when we listen, morning, Jackie. So when we listen, it's not about listening to respond, just picking up on, little words. It's really about just listening and allowing yourself to really listen with your heart. Good morning, Teresa. Good morning, Joanne. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being here. So this is really about listening with your heart. This is about listening not to react, but to respond to people so that you can really hear what they're saying. Because even if someone is really angry, really upset, the words that they're using may not necessarily be representing what they're really saying. What they really may be saying is a call for help, a call for love. But because we are listening just to certain words, certain phrases, certain things they're saying, instead of responding, we're reacting to what they're saying. So this is a really big invitation this week to listen and just listen. Not listen to formulate a response, not listen to give advice, but simply listening. Because sometimes that's all that people need. Good morning, Robin. Good morning, Monica. Is someone just to listen. Our next card is the number 3, which is the Wizard of Awareness. And so this is really asking us to jump in and be aware. So as we listen, to be aware of, the thoughts that we're having, to be aware of not only the thoughts that we're having, but maybe some of the feelings that are also coming up. Now, I also want to read a little bit because above each one, she has a beautiful saying. Your soul knows best. Be still and observe. So once again, another beautiful invitation that to just listen, to observe, to not absorb, but just simply see it for what it is. And this is really about being mindful, is about being observant and remaining neutral about what goes on in the world around you. This applies to your environment as well as within. If you struggle inside yourself, stepping into the observer position gives you a new power and full perspective, and neutralizing any discomfort or overexcitement. You have the capacity to see things clearly now, unencumbered by opinions or desires. Wearing the world as a loose garment requires you to adopt a sense of nothing that happens to you is personal. Now, I know that can sound really crazy, like, nothing that happens to me is really personal. And that kind of brings us brings us to that belief that the world is not happening to us, it's happening from us. And so we must be willing to become aware of that. And that means, once again, that we do have to listen. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Rosemary. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. So this is really an opportunity this week. There's this big opportunity for growth because we are asked to listen. We are asked to observe. And as we listen, as we observe, we actually have number 49, the talisman, which says as we listen and as we observe, we actually gain wisdom. So actually, let's read the little quote that she has above it. A lesson truly learned is crystallized as earned wisdom. You have all you need to succeed for what you seek. Whatever your inquiry, great fortune awaits you, for you have the wisdom to arrive at the right decision. You've learned your lessons and earned the right to your success. So really beautiful this week is an invitation, once again, to listen from the heart, to listen, not to give advice, not to fix, but simply just to listen. As we listen, we allow ourselves to observe and not absorb, to see what's really being said behind the words. It's very easy for us when we listen with the heart to actually hear what people are really saying and to hear that the call for love. And as we hear that call for love, then we're going to be able to see things in a new perspective, in a new light. And as we do that, we really do gain wisdom because we will be able to share what really needs to be said. Okay, and that's what's really key, is you say what needs to be said, not what you think should be. Because the heart will always tell us what needs to be said, what's going to be of the most service to someone, while our brain, our mind, our ego will simply tell us what we think the other person needs to hear. So really beautiful invitation this week, listening with the heart, observing, and then as we observe, seeing the lessons that are really there for us to see. So now we're going to go to the wisdom of the hidden realms. And the wisdom of the hidden realms is going to give us some of the blocks, some of the shadows that may arise this week when it comes to listening, when it comes to observing, when it comes to really seeing the lesson that's being presented to you. Because oftentimes we go into situations and these situations are lessons that we can learn. Maybe you're a super great giver and you give to other people, and then you become resentful for always giving and giving and giving to other people and not giving to yourself. So there's a lesson in that for you. But let's see. Oh, there's one. There's two. We just need one more. Ooh. We're actually going to have this one too. That's going to be our bonus card. We're going to have, whoops, okay. Oh, beautiful. All right. So our very first card, which goes with listening, is the High Lady of Compassion, Reverence, Kindness, and Consideration. So as we listen this week, a block that may be there is we go into false empathy. And false empathy is where we actually kind of go into the emotion with that person. We go into the sadness, we go into the despair, we go into the loneliness, the longing, the anger. And that's not what empathy is, at least from A Course in Miracles perspective. A Course in Miracles perspective on empathy, or true empathy, is where we see what the other person, we observe what they are going through, but we do not absorb it. What we do is we hold them in kindness and compassion and saying, I know that you're going through this, but I love you anyway. And we need to practice that not only with others, but with ourselves. Because sometimes we're really good at listening compassionately to others, but then we put ourselves down. I don't need to think that. That's not something for me. Instead of just honoring that. Because if you can honor and be a space of compassion for someone else, you can honor yourself and hold a place of compassion for yourself. So that's something to also look at this week. Then we come to the Diamond Dreamer, material wealth, true prosperity. But he has come in the reverse position. And so when he comes in the reverse position, we're going to look up that. It is all about, it's number 5. The Diamond Dreamer challenges you to address your perception. Okay, so this goes perfectly with the Wizard of Awareness, because remember, the Wizard of Awareness was telling us to observe. So, your new perception and the power of materialism. Do you focus on the material world above all else? Have you become hypnotized by the notion that it is the only reality? Have you grown too attached to stuff? Now, I also want to say, have you grown too attached to a certain idea, a certain way of being, a certain way someone must act or be, is another way of looking at that. The Diamond Dreamer also reminds you that disappointment and disillusionment are sometimes the way home to truth. Be compassionate with yourself and others this time. So a beautiful reminder to be compassionate. A beautiful reminder that what we're looking at this week, as we listen with our hearts, as we really become the observer of our own thoughts as well, we're really asked to be compassionate, we're asked to be kind, and we are asked to look at our beliefs, look at our thoughts, and say, do I want this anymore? Does this have value? Because in my opinion, that's what releasing is. Releasing is simply saying, do I hold value for this? Is this something that I still want to hold value for? If it is, great. If not, then that's okay too. I'm able to let it go because it doesn't hold value. Now, our last card is the Chess Queen, trust and strategizing. And this card goes perfectly with that talisman because we have to remember who's in charge. It's not you. It is Spirit that is in charge, if we will allow it. If we allow Spirit to truly be in charge, then we're going to be able to crystallize all of the lessons that we have learned into true wisdom, because we are not saying this is what it means or that's what it means. We're allowing Spirit to inform us. We're allowing Spirit to guide us where we need to be, instead of us trying to guide ourselves where we think we need to be and the lesson we think we need to learn. So then, our bonus card for this week, hi Nancy, thanks for joining, is the Cosmos, and is to remember your vastness, to remember the truth of who you are, to remember the infinite creative force that moves through you at all times. So that's our bonus card. So if we kind of do a little review here of what we're looking at this week. This week, it's about listening with your heart, being compassionate and holding a place of compassion not only for others, but for yourself. It's about being in that awareness, being able to observe and not absorb, to really look at your thoughts and beliefs and ask yourself, does this still hold value for me? Do I still want it? As we do that, we begin to see the lessons. We begin to crystallize that wisdom. And as we crystallize that wisdom and allow spirit to guide us, we're going to see this beautiful, we're really going to be reminded of the truth of who we are. We're going to be reminded of the vastness and how we are not confined to one little thing. We are the cosmos. And so then we're going to go to the Oracle of the Angels. And we're going to see what beautiful affirmations we have to help us this week. And remember, this is just our generalized energy forecast for this week. If you're interested in your own personalized Miracle Mindset Monday, then you can go visit my website, awakeningmiracles.org. Beautiful. And then we just need one more, please. Awesome. All right. So our first card is card number 32, moving towards the light. So what this is really asking us to do for this week is to, as we move towards the light, what does moving towards the light really mean? It simply means that we continuously move towards the truth of who we are. We begin to see the silver lining in all of our situations. So once again, becoming that observer and not so much coming from the space of subjectivity, this is happening to me, but objectivity, this is happening from me. What is this representing? So let's read the affirmation that goes with that card from card number 32. I find hidden blessings in each of my opportunities for growth. This says challenges, but I don't like to use the word challenges, so I use the word or words opportunity for growth. I am forever transforming and evolving and progressing along my path. And the only way that we can really do that, the only way that we can listen with our hearts and really be the observer so that we can crystallize those lessons is to be here and now, not to be in the past, not to be in the future, but to be in the present moment. And so that is card number 4. So let's read the affirmation for card number 4. I live in the here and now, always conscious of my active presence within the universe and of my work on earth. I choose to live in the present moment. I am aware of what I create with my thoughts, my words, my deeds. I trust, for I know that all comes to me at the right moment when I am ready. And that's really beautiful because it's once again telling us that spirit is in charge. That as long as we remain present in the moment, as long as we are listening with our hearts, really being the observer, trusting spirit, being compassionate, looking at our thoughts and saying, do I want this? Or what is this representing to me in the now moment, not in the future, not in the past, but right then, right there, right now, we get this beautiful opportunity for growth. And we get this beautiful opportunity to see our true infinite potential. So that's card number 41. I listen. Oh, see, once again, I love how all of these cards are working together to really just bring it all together. Each card is connected with every other one. And that's why it creates this beautiful story. But the beautiful story isn't about, oh, here's this part of the story, this part of the story, this part of the story. each set of cards actually is giving us the same story. It's just giving it to us in different ways, which I really love. I listen to my inner voice and I'm guided by my inner light. I am faithful to the truth of my heart. I have within me all the potential and all the resources to succeed. I am always guided to what is best for me. So really, really beautiful here. This beautiful story this week, which started with listening. Not listening to give advice, not listening to fix the problem, not listening to react, but really listening to respond from love, because we are holding a compassionate space, not only for those who are communicating with us, but also for our own inner communication. We then move to the Wizard of Awareness, asking us to be more aware, asking us to become the observer, asking us to wear the world as a loose garment instead of as a super tight-fitting suit where we take everything personal. Instead, we can see that the world is happening from us, not to us. And as we have that awareness, we can begin to ask the question, do I want to continue to hold on to the value of this belief that I must help everyone else and forget myself? Do I want to hold on to the belief that I am a victim of the world? Then as we do that, we have the talisman card, which is all about us crystallizing our wisdom. As we crystallize our wisdom, we really ask Spirit to help us to interpret that and remember our vastness. We then continue to move towards the light, seeing the blessing in the situation. As we see the blessing in the situation, we can only see that blessing as we become here, as we become now, not in the past, not in the future, but only in the present moment. And as we come into that present moment, we realize our infinite potential because we are listening to our inner guidance. So that is the reading for this week. I thank you for joining me. I thank you for being here. And if you're interested in your own personalized Miracle Mindset Monday, please feel free to go visit my website, awakeningmiracles.org. Enjoy the rest of this beautiful week. For those of you that follow me on my ACIM support page, I will be there momentarily.